let's say it's hard since it's the time to be also. Is government here?
Government? First government. First government. First. Hey, we're closing government.
Oh, yeah, so you can leave your phone and talk, yeah. Oh, no problem, yes, it's just because of the, yes. Okay, and it's, will it turn off if I don't touch it, like the screen?
Yes, but the back sort of like the telescope goes anyway. Or do you need to?
No, I mean, it's not gonna ring like,
It will ring.
no, but like for phone calls or messages. That's it.
I think
I have no problem. Okay, I have no problem if it will be quiet and I will just like beg myself.
I'll take off my internet.
And then it rings.
Then it doesn't ring, but like the rate of signal.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
You need that, see, that's why I have.
Okay, good luck, everybody. So, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the second round of the Lund IV 2014. We're missing one person from opening up. Opening up. Where's your partner?
I'm single. I'm going to like deliver both species.
Oh, you're already. Okay, fine. We'll make that right. So, opening proposition, we have Genesis, right?
Yep.
Who's speaking first?
Pierce.
Pierce, I'll pick this first. Okay, so open opposition, what's your name? Sir? What's
My
your
name is
name?
Bimal. Sorry. Bimal Jaswal.
Okay. Closing government, who's speaking first? Laura first? Okay. And closing opposition, who's speaking first? Sabrina first. Okay, so nice to meet everybody. My name is Stella, I'll be the chair, and unfortunately no wins for this round, and here the floor is off. We can run it.
So put this one.
Okay. So without any further ado, on the vote in this house will be that it is morally, just that women are morally justified to lie about their past experience, etc., and job interviews. I'm happy to call Prime Minister to open this debate.
Ladies and gentlemen, women are morally justified in lying about their ability, their experience, and their future family plans. Let's first lay out how my speech is going to go. I'm going to model it. I'm going to explain a bit about why this is an issue that needs to be addressed, and I'm going to move on to a constructive point about leveling the playing field. My partner is then going to carry on this constructive point, analyzing why leveling the playing field is so important and why this kind of equality benefits society. Let's get back to that model. So I think the way we're going to argue this day is how you've all been thinking about it. Throughout the interview and the hiring process, women are justified by creating a slightly false persona of themselves and representing that to companies. Now, we're saying this is within reason. they're not going to go out and say that they were the CEO of a Fortune 500 company. And we think that this is to a certain extent a self-regulating process. There's a lot of ways that you can check someone's experience and check what's on their CV. And so any large changes will be quite evident to an employer during an interview process. And also, no one benefits from someone being overemployed. If someone who's completely unqualified just suddenly makes up, vastly inflates their skills to get a job, which they are going to do horribly at, even they don't benefit. So we don't really see it as a problem of someone walking in the street and saying, oh yeah, I've been an astronaut before, because someone who doesn't have an experience as an astronaut is not going to have fun time in the job of astronaut. So I want to now explain a bit like that. Oh, I'm going to get to my constructor first. I want to explain a bit why this is an issue that needs addressing. Now, I think everyone here is going to agree that women are discriminated in the labor market. If you send out 10 CVs with a male name at the top, you're going to get more responses than if you send out that exact same CV 10 times with a female name at the top. When we look at the leadership of corporations, women are vastly underrepresented, and in the higher echelons of most companies, they're filled by, the roles are filled by men more than women. When we look at the character traits that we attribute to, that we value in higher up roles in the workforce, we think of, perseverance, we think of competitiveness and being aggressive at your work. And these are traits that are seen as unbecoming on women. So what we see is that there's a systematic discrimination, which isn't necessarily the fault of any one individual, but we think that it is justified to only within reason misconstrue your past, your present, and your future self by small amounts in order to compensate for this discrimination in the workforce. Yes.
Do you think that employers will now kind of snoop and kind of try to find out themselves what the person has done before? So CVs and just become irrelevant if they are justified to lie?
Exactly. So that's a key thing that we want to stress on the opening go, so we don't have to continue this point throughout the debate. We're not encouraging people to go out and do this, or we're not saying go and put completely overinflated information, portray that to your employer. What we're saying is that people who do make small changes on the resume, changes within reason, which they think can be justified, that these are not morally reprehensible actions, that these are understandable given the current labor market. So I want to move on to my constructive point, which is about leveling the playing field. Now, I have already explained in detail how women are discriminated in the labor force, but I want to specify this idea that lying is justified because it's leveling the playing field. Now, what we're stressing on SciGov is that this isn't a way in which women somehow make themselves superior to men. This is a way of making them equal to men in the interview and in the hiring process. So we see throughout society that when you sit down in that interview chair, if you have a Y chromosome, you're already at a disadvantage. And so small changes to the persona that sits down in that chair is going to balance that out. So if you maybe say that I have a little more experience, or I had a slightly better position than this company, that's not necessarily lying about your qualifications, or well, that's not about your core competences, but that's changing the packaging in which you demonstrate that. And any however slight change in the core competence that represents is offset by the fact that you're only balancing the discrimination that is against you once you sit down in that chair. So what I've been really trying to stress today is the idea that, one, we're looking at small, reasonable changes to your persona that don't reflect major lies about the core competences of the individual, and that these are a way of balancing out the hiring process to make it fair for all members of society. Now, my partner is going to go further with this point to explain why it's necessary to make it fair for all members of society and how we all benefit from, even though there's a little dishonesty, how we all benefit from an equalization of the discrimination that happens today. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Speaker, for his speech, and now I'm happy to call Leader of Opposition to open the gift sandwich.
Thanks for the floor. Respected judges, my cousin and my fellow. My proposition first speech was completely based on that we are completely agree that women are discriminated in the cooperation market, and what we are going to see is we are completely disagree that women are discriminated in the cooperative market, because women are in every field. Women are astronaut as well, women are teacher, women are in every field. So they are, our side don't think that women are discriminated. Right nowadays in Europe, I think, in talking about Germany, the chancellor is a woman. In Great Britain, the chancellor is woman. So we don't think that women are completely they are discriminated in anything. Now, moving towards my first argument.
That one.
Sorry. Now, moving towards my first argument, why it is completely morally just. It is completely not morally justified, because while giving the interview, if you are lying about your past experience and about your ability and in the job interview, then it is going to completely harm the company, which is directly related with the lives of people who are working in the company. So if company is going to be bankrupted, then it is completely like it is going to kill the lives of so many people who is working in the company. Talking about, for example, I'm going to give an example in the profession of teacher, in the profession of, in the school, in the high school, or in the university. If a woman is lying about their ability and their experience about teaching in the school while giving the interview, then she is accepted, she is got job of teaching. Then what about that? What about after that? While teaching, does she going to teach the students in a good way that the school as expected from a professional teacher? Does she is going to deliver such experience, such a quality to the student? And completely disagree that it is not morally justified that women women are lying about their past experience and ability and future plan in the job interview. Yeah.
What if everyone is lying in the job interview anyway? All that they can do with their evidence, like education proofs, why is it morally unjustified for someone?
I got it. Thank you. I got it. We are completely disagree that we are not. It is not completely not morally justified that we are lying in the job interview, because it is going to harm the company. It is going to harm the society as well as the company which is conducting the job interview. Let's talk about how it harms. If a person don't have an experience of working and he tell like he lie that he has lots of experience of working, then they are not going to do as much as work as the company wanted. So it's like completely harm the it is going to completely harm the company. So if it is harming the people of the company as well as the society, so it is not morally justified. Yeah, if our opposition side said that women are discriminated in the cooperating market, then we have to change our mentality. We have to give the women the ability and everything as we give to the male. Sorry. So that, and it's not a good idea to lie in the job interview, because it is going to harm so many things. So we have to give the experience, we have to give the ability, we have to give the education, we have to treat the woman as equally as, we have to change the mentality. We are not saying like we are going to lie in the job interview, because it is going to harm everything.
That one?
Yeah.
So it's opening position saying that you think lying is inherently bad, it can never be good.
Sorry?
Are you saying that lying is always bad, that it can never be good in circumstances?
Yeah.
Okay.
Lying is bad because it harms the company, and harming it is not a good. It is going to like lose the company, and so it's bad. Thank you.
Okay, I think the speaker for his speech and now to complete the case from proposition and have to call the deputy please.
Okay, so dear judge, other speakers, I'm very much going to talk about what the Prime Minister said was like, as he mentioned, how we should even put the playing field and why equality is important. That is our first and foremost most important point. But the second point I'm going to mention, and that's also going to be quite substantive, is about the status quo right now. But first, I would like to comment on the last speaker's answer to my PY about lying being inherently bad. We do not believe that. We believe that is why we have a term such as white lies. Lying can be good. It can benefit everyone at certain points. And also, of course, it is hard to distinguish, when something is a lie and when something is just, when something is an innocent lie and when something might be of a more severe quality, so to say. But so something I would like to elaborate on that we didn't touch upon as much in the first week is that it's about the status quo, as I mentioned just before, because the status quo is that everyone lies, especially when it comes to resumes and such. People, they try to appear better and such, and that is because a lot of workforce experience is subjective. Because, okay, you can say you have worked for 6 months as a waiter somewhere, but that might have been in a buffet restaurant and not an a la carte restaurant, but that might be a mitigating factor that you do not want to add, because that might put you down in the queue, so to say, when it comes to finding a new waiter. Of course, you want to appear as good as possible, because in this society we live in, it's built on democracy and some Western values of liberty and the protection of the individual. So we fight for the individual right, for them to do the best with their life, and a way for them to do that is to appear as good as they can. And we believe that women that are actually a bit stigmatized in that regard, because, well, as I said, everyone basically do it now, but it's a bit more of an issue with women, usually because of the fact that they can be pregnant and such. So if they say that, oh yeah, I would like a kid someday, then they now are not going to get a job that they might really want and might need in order to get a kid someday. So they have to, yeah, so they're almost forced to say that, no, I don't like kids, I don't want kids, and lie to themselves, not only themselves, but also the company. And we think that is extremely unfortunate. But to sum up the first point about the status quo is that everyone does it, and a lot of the info we have on your resume and such, it's subjective info. You can decide how the package, the changing of the package, as the Prime Minister also said, and therefore we think it should be equal for everyone, and you shouldn't be discriminated due to your religion, race, or gender, sexuality, and such. Because, I mean, for instance, if you take the sexuality, it's not a demand that you have to declare whether you're straight, homosexual, bisexual, or whatnot. And again, that's a factor that might, for some companies, give you a disadvantage, and therefore you do not need to add it. Is that lying? No, that is just not telling the whole truth. So say, I'm not saying something you think is irrelevant. For instance, for the same point, we see some laws in other countries, such as Denmark. It's been proposed that when you apply for a job, then the crimes you have committed that are not relevant to the job should not be presented to the company, because they're not relevant for this job, and you are now a free man who's done your time and so forth, and you need a job. And that is going to be a really important point I'm going to make now, that I hope is going to carry on throughout the debate, that job is really important. It's not, but job is also important for your self-realization, for your identity as a person. And I would actually dare say that the reason some people, they lie or dress up their resume is a sign of motivation. The reason they want to go through that hassle is because they really want this job. They are really motivated for it. It shows that they actually have something to contribute with, and they want to add. And so we think it's more important to have someone with really good motivation for a job, who actually really want to do this, rather than someone who meets these specific demands that might have been set quite randomly by the company. Yes.
So you give two reasons. One, everyone does it, so they should do it. And the other one is, if they're really motivated to do it, that somehow justifies doing it. Can you talk about the morality of this? If everyone steals, then how does that make it good? And if someone is motivated to steal, how does that make stealing good? So where's your moral legitimization?
So as we said, lying is not inherently bad. The same as stealing is perhaps not inherently bad, because if you need to steal in order to survive, that is obviously a mitigating factor. If you need to lie in order to get the dream job, in order to supply for your family for the rest of your life, that is also a mitigating factor that we believe is justified. Because again, we believe it's morally justified, but we do not encourage it. But we just believe that the playing field should be even for everyone. And also, I'm briefly going to talk about overqualification as well, because some people, they might actually be interested in not including everything on the resume. Like I know people, for instance, who are overqualified for jobs, but because they are between jobs at the moment, they just want to have like a steady, normal job as a cashier or something. But because they have worked as a stewardess or whatnot, they are discounted as being overqualified, even though they actually really want and need this job. So we think that's completely arbitrary, that people, they need that people they do not get a job because they're too good. So because that's the other side of the coin. You can also lie in order to appear more suitable for a job, whereas appearing to be better or worse. But so now, lastly, the point about equality and leveling the playing field. The very core reason why it is important for everyone to have even opportunity is because that is something we have built our society on, and that is why we as a government wants to be an extension of that for fighting for the individual, right? And also we can dig into that by talking about the Maslow's self-realization, because that is like the pinnacle of a human when they actually do get a job and have self-realization, understand who they are and fulfill their dreams. Yeah, so obviously that is why it benefits the individuals and the society as a whole, and it doesn't harm the company because it is as it is now already. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, speaker, for the speech. And to close the opening house of this debate, I'm happy to call once again leader of leader action.
Thanks once again, and thanks for the floor. Now moving towards my second arguments, I want to rebut on my opposition side that people are lying, that is the status quo, and everyone is lying. Then what I want to say is like, you are lying, it's fine, but it is not a morally justified, which is the motion. So we completely disagree that if someone is lying, then it is morally justified. So our side don't believe that women are morally justified in lying about their past experience, ability, and future family plan in job interview. Now I'm going to talk about what is job interview and why we don't have to be lie in job interview. Job interview is a situation where you present yourself 100% and you want to present yourself as a perfect for the job so that you can get the job. If you are going to present yourself as perfect, then it doesn't mean like you are going to tell lie. And if you are telling lie, it means like you are morally justified. It is completely wrong thing. We are completely disagree about that. That although the status quo is people are lying, it doesn't mean that you are going to lie in the job interview. Because job interview is the place where you are going to like develop ourselves as well as develop the company, develop the institute where you are going to work. Now talking about.
Sure.
Yeah.
Just like in a war, everyone is shooting everyone. You are morally justified to shoot back. So if the men are lying in the workplace, you are more or less justified to lie as a woman.
I got it. First of all, I want to say like job interview is not a war, and there is no one is shooting. It means like not the interviewer is going to tell lie about the company. So we don't have. So the interviewer. So that if your women are not like going to tell lie because the interviewer are not lying. Because the person who is going to take your interview is not going to lie. So it's not about, it's completely different thing, war and the interview.
That point.
Sorry. Now, my next argument is, if women don't have past experience, if the women don't have ability, and we want to increase the women, because women are multitasking, they can develop the country, and they can develop the society, they can develop like company, society, and country. As so, it is women are so much important. We know that. We are completely agree with that. So, if you want to like develop the women, like develop their ability, then we can increase the reservation for the women, like reservation seat for the women. We can do something better. We can we have to change our mentality. As in my first speech I have already told you, like we have to change the thinking. It doesn't mean like we are going to we have to tell the woman to go and lie in the interview and it is morally justified, which is completely disagree from our side. We are completely disagree about that. We can increase the reservation. We can give the women, or we can where they are lacking, we can promote those things. We can hire women for the job, and we can give some experience. That is the good way of increasing or promoting the women's ability and capability as well as experiences. But lying, we are completely disagree about that. That lying in the job interview is a